Let's look at the top headlines first. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on a two-day visit to Manipur. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated Manipur leg Durand Cup Nehru Cup beat Trow in Imphal Derby. And India reports 15,754 new COVID cases, 39 deaths in last 24 hours. Hello and welcome to ELITETV English News. I'm Utpala. Before giving you the news, we request you to follow the SOP given by the government. Wear face masks when out in public, wash hands regularly and maintain a minimum distance of 6 feet between one person and another. ELITETV requests you to get vaccinated in time to protect ourselves from this virus and play your part in the fight against COVID-19. Now the news in detail. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who is on two-day visit to Manipur, visited Headquarters Inspector General Assam Rifles South at Mantripukri in Manipur on Friday and interacted with troops of Red Shield Division and Assam Rifles. He was accompanied by Chief of the Army Staff General Manoj Pandey, GOC in C Eastern Command Lieutenant General R.P. Kalita and GOC Spear Corps Lieutenant General R.C. Tiwari, along with other senior officers of Army and Assam Rifles. During the visit, the Defence Minister was briefed about the counter-insurgency as well as border management operations on Indo-Myanmar border to maintain peace and tranquility in the region. Addressing the personnel, Rajnath Singh appreciated the officers and soldiers for performing their duty with courage and conviction despite challenges posed by terrain and weather and improving the security situation in Manipur. It's a matter of great pride to stand among the Indian Army and Assam Rifles troops, he said. Rajnath Singh lauded the contribution of Red Shield Division ever since its raising bee in 1971 war and as a part of IPKF in Sri Lanka or in its present role. He commended the stellar role of Assam Rifles in the last 7 decades and their immense contribution in internal security, securing Indo-Myanmar border and key role in bringing Northeast into the national mainstream. For this reason, you are called Friends of the Northeast people and Sentinels of Northeast, he stated. Rajnath Singh exhorted the forces to keep the national flag high through unflinching dedication, asserting that the nation can achieve absolute potential only when its borders are safe. More than 1,000 troops of Red Shield Division and Assam Rifles took part in the interaction with the Defence Minister.
आगे बढ़ते हैं 2 मंजिले का नाम पर चढ़कर दुश्मन गोली चला रहे 2 मंजिले का नाम पर चढ़ और वहां को शहीद हो किसके अंदर है इसीलिए स्वाभाविक है कि आप सबसे प्रति सम्मान करना होगा मैं एक घंटे अपनी परिस्थिति में बताता हूँ मेरी इच्छा थी सेवा लेना और एक बार मैं कैंडिडेट ये 60 कमीशन की परीक्षा में गया था रिटर्न परिवार की वजह से प्रशिक्षण जिसने और होता नहीं कर पाए और आज भी घरों में आपने देखा होगा कि बच्चे को आप ही बॉडी बना दीजिए तो बच्चे की क्या बदल जाते हैं बॉडी का एक तरीका होगा और मैं क्या कहता हूँ कि बॉडी की बात इस बॉडी की प्रतिष्ठा आपको बता मैं आप सभी का शीश झुका करने का दर्जा था कुछ छोटी बात नहीं अगर राइफल का सवाल है तो राइफल मैं हमारा सीमा की सुरक्षा करवा है और साथ ही साथ लोगों को मेन टीम में भी जोड़ने के एक बहुत
Manipur Governor Laganesan, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and ministers of the state extended their warm greetings to the people of the state on the occasion of Janmashtami, Krishna Janma, which falls today, 19th August. Laganesan in his message stated that the festival of Janmashtami is celebrated as the birth of Krishna. It also signifies the divine richness of Karma Yoga, the way to attain spiritual heights through a ceaseless effort to achieve excellence in one's work, he added. Lord Krishna's universal message, as given to us through the Bhagavad Gita, has guided us through centuries to stand firm in the fight for truth and justice against all odds, he mentioned. On the special occasion, the governor also invited the people to recall the teachings of Krishna and work for the promotion of peace, cooperation and mutual goodwill among all the diverse sections of the state. Conveying his greetings, N. Biren extended prayers for the philosophy of Krishna to guide the people of the state towards a peaceful future filled with development and communal harmony. May the message of the 8th avatar of Vishnu dispel the darkness and light and lamp of wisdom in everyone's heart, CM Biren stated in his message. A tree plantation program was carried out by Center of Medical and Sales Representatives Union at Cherau Ching, Thangmeban on the occasion of Golden Jubilee celebration of Center of Medical and Sales Representatives Union CRU-NER by Imphal District Unit. 100 saplings were planted by members of CRU members of Imphal Unit in support of Green Manipur mission. The CRU members expressed gratitude to Central Divisional Forest Officer Imphal East, Manipur for their generous donation of the tree saplings and in making the program a success.
August ki tang 35 asida ekoi gi Center Sales and Medical Representative Union CRU Imphal Unit na ngasi ekoi gi Manipur government na thambiriba ekoi gi Green Manipur haiba theme sida akoi support tawjabo aina ekoi gi CRU gi sahi 50 surpa Golden Jubilee ga thorong mari leina na ngasi ekoi na Cherau Sing thangmaiban gi asida ekoi na plantation tree plantation ekoi tawjari hariba plantation asida ekoi bu mateng pangbirakiba ekoi gi uchar pibirakiba department sing ekoi medical representative forest department sing bu ekoi medical representative Union Manipur na hanana thagatba phongdokchari.
Kids Foundation School, Airport Road, Ghari organized a felicitation program for the successful students of the academic sessions 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021 and 2021 to 2022. This program was attended by the parents, teachers and students. Assistant Administrator Nishant Wahingbam stated that the students' successful performance is responsible for the success of the school. He asked the current class 10 students to work hard and get good results, and he also appreciated the teachers of the school. Students who received letter mark as well as highest marks and best teachers were selected and awarded and given incentives. He also encouraged the teachers to put in their best efforts in teaching the students. Royal Academy of Law, RAL, Bishnupur observed 29th Annual Foundation Day at the conference hall by IQAC, NAAC and NSS cell yesterday. The function was diced by Laishram Radhakishore, RAL Chairman of Governing Body, Iringbam Jogeshwar, RAL Secretary of Governing Body, Principal Eliza Maisnam, Award Donor Hairang Khongjam Biren, songs, presentations, entertainment programs of the students were shown as showing talents of the students. A gift hamper, cash award and recitation to top 10 position holders in LLB's 6th semester examination 2022 under Manipur University were also distributed. In the function, Iringbam Jogeshwar said, once upon a time, if we had to study law, we need to go outside the state spending 30 to 40 lakhs. So the poor people couldn't afford and had to stop studying law, but as necessary to know the law and in hope to have one law graduate in every household. The law college has been established and has faced many difficulties, but today the college will be surely alive, he added. Speaking in the function, Laishram Radhakishore said, remembering the history with full of difficulties faced in establishing the college, it will make us one way to success in our life, and with the hard work and sacrifices made by the former principal, GB Secretary Iringbam Jogeshwar, the college has been able to see as of today. So let us work together to make the college more renowned college, he further added.
Project ibudo madugi mai oira male ko haibase madugi amuke hena honani aruga kraman to gibu hauji system of examinations chhatra mana country atopada parikha thabada masi ilamre mana fail orani ai zero phangane ne khalle examiner na masi phangmam thopa mark to pass mark yodra pass mark number di piramid pega hajira kana mai mark situla kanda mani kayune ai di zero phangadra raga number se ai khara di phangine s adidi khare ni irabi ai mathang di pass torani adana chhatra do hona na bagi magi incentive to adunida koina thamjeri se
jam bijoy akoi gi maruf bijoy yamna yawbiramba akoi tangai fadana college se hindaba yade college ai shagini ai makki ai gi hak ai gi adugumba amata ngairaba ai gi thokdang hena khankiba sing halaman yame ai yamna sangna matam su thengjalakpanina tension jage halaman sing mayam ama nungsi jakrabal lei makoina siguma lo college ma thamdaba yade haidana honna pirakpaduna ngasidi akoi lecture 2016 sida akoi Manipur Sarkar na grant net pibire akoi sang na sahi kungo humdoi tolo piba ngamdadana karigumma mata pangthokpa ngamdadana he khaina maktada any celebration tawbada college sigi building sabada everything madugi khasa mayam do khaina bang maktadana akoi gi matam madugi MP wajaya mo wesono tajiten wesono adagi ayamba hojikti lekhidre ai tatari bolbi yamba mahaki matamda matang mateng pangaga lakhiba mayam singa do yengbiu ekoi kaya yamna kana na kathole har kamda college se koirakpano.
The leader of opposition in Meghalaya, Dr. Mukul Sangma, has written to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to order an inquiry into the irregularities in the power sector in the state. Dr. Mukul said the motive of his letter to the Prime Minister is because of the multi-crore scam related to procurement of smart meters. The LO in his letter has also expressed concerns about the implementation of the central scheme Saubhagya scheme, which was launched by the Government of India in October 2017. Dr. Mukul has also expressed that the Prime Minister will take the issue seriously, as the Prime Minister has always held that there is zero tolerance for corruption in New India. So you have always held that there is zero tolerance for corruption in India. Your commitment to ensuring a corruption-free India gives me great expectations and hope that the Government of India will order an immediate inquiry into this matter through an appropriate central investigation agency. This is an issue that has major repercussions on the people of Meghalaya and the state's exchequer, and therefore your kind and urgent intervention is greatly desired in order for justice to be done, reads the letter of the LO. Dr. Sangma in his letter mentioned that the Meghalaya government, through tender number MEPDCL/RE/T191/2019-20/PKG1 invited the bid for supply of 1,80,000 smart meters. Based on the bid received, the letter of award was then issued via order number dated 16th February 2021 to two bidders, Satnam Global Infra Projects Limited and JPM Industries, with Enhancement Company Limited as joint venture partner. As per the contract, the breakup includes ex-works price components of 171,48,42,495 rupees, which comes to about 9,527 rupees per meter, and GST components of 30,86,71,649 rupees, about 100,715 rupees per meter. With this, the total cost incurred by the Government of Meghalaya for one smart meter is rupees 11,242. Satnam Global Infra Projects Limited installed Liberty 150 smart meter manufactured by Secure Meters Limited, headquartered in Gurgaon, Haryana. Whereas the joint venture of JPM Industries and Enhancement Company Limited installed Enhancement DDZ1513, Dr. Sangma said in the letter to Modi. Further, Dr. Sangma said that on verifying data from the open market, it turned out that the online retail price of single secure meters limited Liberty 150 smart meter is rupees 5,500 each. Similarly, the online retail market price of single Enhancement DDZ1513 is 1,700 rupees each. Therefore, there is a massive price discrepancy of 137.55 crore rupees between the price paid by the government of Meghalaya for these smart meters and their price in the open market, he added. Dr. Sangma also said that Enhancement Company Limited, being a Chinese company, took the financial viability away from local companies. Awarding the contract to a Chinese company does not align with the core idea of Make in India. It also creates a security threat as these smart meters have SIM cards installed in them and are connected to the wider mobile internet network, which could allow malicious hackers and India's adversaries to gain control of the entire power system in the state, reads the letter of Dr. Sangma to the Prime Minister. Delhi NCR region is witnessing its worst bout of viral fever and COVID, with 8 out of 10 households affected in the last 30 days, a survey by local circles has revealed. Members of the affected households have experienced COVID-like symptoms such as fever, runny nose and fatigue. In most cases, people seem to prefer home test kits to check if they have COVID or whether it is a case of viral fever. Whatever the case may be, both carry the risk of spreading to other family members, particularly the children in these households. India on Friday reported 15,754 new coronavirus infections and 39 COVID-related deaths in the last 24 hours across the country, according to the Union Health Ministry. This takes the country's total tally of COVID-19 infections from the beginning of the pandemic to 4,43,14,618. With an increase of 487 cases from the previous day, India's active caseload shot up to 1,01,830, according to the Union Health Ministry data. The active cases comprise 0.23% of the total infections. The 39 new fatalities include 8 from Delhi, 6 from Maharashtra, 4 from Karnataka, 3 each from Punjab, Rajasthan and West Bengal, 2 each from Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, and 1 each from Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Odisha, Sikkim and Uttarakhand. The country's overall death toll since the beginning of the pandemic has now reached 5,27,253. With 15,220 recoveries from COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, the national recovery rate now stands at 98.58%, the Health Ministry said. The number of people who have recuperated from the disease surged to 4,36,85,535. The daily positivity rate has been recorded at 3.47%, while the weekly positivity rate stood at 3.90%. According to the Health Ministry, 209.27 crore of COVID vaccination doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide inoculation drive. India's COVID-19 tally had crossed the 1 crore mark in December 2020, 2 crore in May last year and 3 crore in June 2021. The 4 crore mark was breached in January this year. It's time for a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Durand Cup, the oldest and one of the most prestigious football tournaments in India, an initiative of the Armed Forces.
Tournament asida saruk yabiriba, team singda yaifa, pauze pizari, amasung football bu nungsijaba echil enau singna tournament asibu yang biduna, sanarong singki puknik thogat piu amsung tournament asibu mai pakhan biu. Jai Hind.
Admission open. Manipur University to affiliate Tauba Bachelor of Fine Arts BFA academic session 2020 to 26 की second batch के admission हो जरे eligibility to have passed from any stream from any recognized board or council, Limited Sydney, Hari for Sport Admission, Institute of Rural Education, IRE Wangzing, College of Teaching Education, Wangzing, Thawal District, Manipur. Akupa marol gidamak 8787409943 natraga 85951082 natraga 7005051673 natraga 7085435182 natraga 7024659916.
Bachelor of Fine Arts की courses da lakpituna mention view.
To touch the pinnacles of success, get enrolled to one of the finest schools in Northeast India, UNACO School, Excellence in Education.
Welcome back. You're watching ELITETV English News. The Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) on Friday searched the residence of Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and 3 other public servants in connection with its probe into alleged irregularities in the Delhi excise policy, including 21 locations. Sisodia, in charge of the department, said the central agency was welcome to do so and will give full cooperation in the investigation so that the truth can come out, as also said that many cases have been filed till now, but nothing has come out and nothing will come out of it either. His work for good education in building a future for lakhs of children in the country cannot be stopped. It is very unfortunate that those who do good work in our country are harassed like this, and that is why our country has not yet become number 1. Incidentally, the CBI search is conducted on the same day when America's largest newspaper published on a front page report in its international edition praised the education mode of public schools in the capital of India. A Pakistan-sponsored online mouthpiece Kashmir fight for the Lashkar-backed terror outfit TRF on Thursday warned of a more intense wave of attacks targeting migrant pundits and other non-locals in Jammu and Kashmir, ostensibly in response to the Chief Electoral Officer's estimate that the ongoing summary revision of rolls could see the addition of up to 25 lakh new voters in the Union Territory. Kashmir Fight's threat to unleash violence through resistance fighters coincided with a chorus of dissenting mainstream voices led by National Conference President and Srinagar MP Farooq Abdullah's call to unite against the latest onslaught at an all-party meeting next Monday. BJP is the only party to have not received an invite for the meeting. At the heart of the uproar is CEO Hirdesh Kumar's statement in Jammu on Wednesday that anyone from any part of the country ordinarily living in Jammu and Kashmir for work, education or business could now choose to get enlisted as a voter in accordance with the provisions of the Representation of the People Act 1951. Kashmir Fight, which in its previous avatar as a banned bloc was known to threaten journalists and activists in Jammu and Kashmir, claimed making stooges and traitors vote was a step towards initiating demographic change. In Srinagar, the People's Alliance for Gupkar declaration comprising NC, Mehbooba Mufti's PDP and CPM attempted a reconciliation of sorts with Altaf Bukhari's Apni Party and Sajjad Lone's People's Conference by pitching the alleged bid to pack the electoral rolls with non-Kashmiri as a challenge that they needed to combat together. We should focus on resolution of the Kashmir issue more than polls. Our youth are being radicalized, Kashmiri pundits are getting killed, security personnel are being shot dead and everybody is suffering, ex-CM Mehbooba said. She claimed granting voting rights to non-Kashmiris was aimed at perpetrating a fraud in the name of elections and getting BJP fascists to run the Union Territory. They have understood after 3 years since the nullification of Article 370 that they can't otherwise break the resistance of our silent people. Meanwhile, expressing strong reservations over inclusion of outside voters in Jammu and Kashmir electoral rolls, Congress on Thursday said this move clearly shows that BJP has lost local support, so it wants outsiders to defeat the mandate of the people of the Union Territory. On Wednesday, Jammu and Kashmir's Chief Electoral Officer Hirdesh Kumar said the Union Territory is likely to get around 25 lakh additional voters, including outsiders, as people ordinarily residing there, even for work purpose, can cast vote in the next assembly elections. We have strong reservations over the move to enroll 25 lakh new voters, especially outside voters, under the misplaced interpretation of the category of ordinarily residents of Union Territory. In that case, will the residents of Jammu and Kashmir or outsiders elect their representatives in the next elections? Jammu and Kashmir Pradesh Congress Committee Working President Raman Bhalla said in a statement here. Mr. Bhalla further said, how come the Chief Electoral Officer knows the exact number of outsiders entitled to become voters in Jammu and Kashmir when they have yet to apply? How and why the provision is being misused to enroll those as voters who are otherwise not eligible? He said they seriously viewed that the provision of ordinarily residents as contained in Section 20 of the Representation of Peoples Act, which is primarily meant to protect the voting rights of those who are temporarily outside their respective place of residence in connection with job, business, profession, etc., is being deliberately misused to give undue benefit to non-eligible persons. This clearly demonstrates that BJP has lost local support, so it wants outside voters to be enrolled to defeat the mandate of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, he said. India-China relations are going through an extremely difficult phase because of Beijing's actions on the border, and it will be difficult to have an Asian century if the two countries don't come together, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said on Thursday. Jaishankar also defended India's decision to purchase Russian oil and the country's engagement with Myanmar's junta following last year's coup, in the face of what he described as double standards and criticism from far away that didn't account for India's priorities. During an interaction at Chulalongkorn University in Thailand, he said relations between China and India were largely dependent on how the two sides are able to harmonize their interests, and recalled Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping's remarks that an Asian century will happen when India and China come together. But the Asian century will be difficult to happen if India and China don't come together. And one of the big questions today is where India-China relations are going, he said. Jaishankar's remarks were in marked contrast to the Chinese leadership's assertions about a momentum of recovery in relations when the External Affairs Minister met Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi last month. Jaishankar has also repeatedly said in recent months that the overall relationship cannot be normalized without peace and tranquility in the border areas. Responding to a question on India's decision to buy Russian oil despite criticism from other countries, Jaishankar said there were different yardsticks of judgment and even double standards at times on this matter. We are not the only oil importer and there are no sanctions on oil, he said, adding that other countries and regions were being very articulate on this issue but have taken care of their own interests. I think it's reasonable that we too be allowed to take care of our interests, particularly because we are a low-income society. For us, the increase in energy prices really hurt, he said. India, the third largest consumer of energy, has snapped up discounted Russian crude in recent months. Jaishankar said on Wednesday that India's actions were aimed at ensuring the best possible deal for its citizens amid high energy prices and shortages. When people talk about what we should do or should not do, we are paying the price for this conflict in a very, very existential way, he told the audience at the university. India's concerns about energy costs, food inflation and shortages were shared by many countries in Asia and Africa, he pointed out. It's simply not fair on people who are struggling to get out of poverty to be expected to take burdens when countries with much higher per capita incomes have found ways of softening the blow of themselves, he added. India's actions, he argued, also helped bring more oil into the market and soften energy prices. India, Jaishankar said, has been clear and unambiguous that the only way out in the Ukraine conflict is to return to dialogue and diplomacy. At some stage, the protagonists have to sit down and talk, he said, adding that the Indian leadership has conveyed this position to both Russia and Ukraine. The sooner you talk, the less bloodshed there is, he said, noting that despite India's efforts in this regard, a call will ultimately have to be made by the countries involved. At the same time, India has supported efforts by the UN Secretary General and Turkey to facilitate exports of wheat from Ukraine and will continue to support all efforts to end the conflict, he said. Asked whether India's engagement with Myanmar's junta was weakening ASEAN's efforts to restore democracy, Jaishankar said it was important to take into account context and background and India's status as an immediate land neighbor. India has been consistently supportive of democracy, pluralism, human rights and progress in the region, and this trend in Myanmar goes back to the 1950s and even earlier, he said. India's understanding, interests and empathy is very different from what people far away convey when they often pontificate on matters which are very different, he added. Such a relationship should not be touched by politics and interests of the day, he said, referring to India's concerns in border areas such as insurgent groups, organized crime and even the spread of COVID-19. We also have to manage our border relationship and the complexities of being a neighbor, he said. Despite the engagement with the junta, India believes Myanmar is best served by being a democracy by reflecting what are the sentiments and wishes of its people, he added. In his speech at the event, Jaishankar said India envisages a free, open, inclusive, peaceful and prosperous Indo-Pacific built on a rules-based order, transparent infrastructure, investment, freedom of navigation and overflight, unimpeded lawful commerce, mutual respect for sovereignty and peaceful resolution of disputes. And now for some sports news. The 2022 edition of the Durand Cup, Asia's oldest football tournament, is being held in multiple venues in Kolkata, Imphal and Guwahati. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Thursday inaugurated the Manipur chapter of the 131st Durand Cup at Kuman Lampak Stadium, Imphal. Manipur is hosting 10 Group C matches of the Cup. Singh said it is a historic day as Durand Cup was being played in Manipur. He said it shows a huge prestige for the Northeast and is a matter of huge pride for the region. Singh said there is a soldier in a player and a player in a soldier. I also believe the spirit of sportsmanship should be present in politicians too, Singh said. India has been able to achieve a new height in sports competition, be it Olympics, Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, in the last 6 to 7 years, and prestige of the country has increased in international level, the Defence Minister said. Earlier, all attention used to be in cricket, but today attention is on sports which received less popularity, Singh said. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh in his speech thanked the Indian Army and Tournament Authority for making it possible to hold Durand Cup matches in the state. He also expresses his profound gratitude to Defence Minister Rajnath Singh for attending the inaugural match of the Manipur edition of the tournament. Rajnath Singh is on a 2-day visit to the state. Manipur government announced half-day holiday on Thursday for all government offices and institutions, including schools and colleges, to enable employees to watch the inaugural match between two state-based teams of Neroka FC and Trau FC. Neroka FC beat local rivals Trau FC 3-1 in a Group C fixture of the Durand Cup at the Kuman Lampak Stadium here on Thursday. For ELITETV News Channel, contact the email address info@elitetv.in or 940-289-0982 and subscribe to ELITETV YouTube channel, or follow us on Facebook page, Instagram and Twitter for more information about the channel. Before we wind up, let's look at the top headlines once again. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on a 2-day visit to Manipur. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated Manipur leg Durand Cup. Neroka beat Trau in Imphal Derby. And India reports 15,754 new COVID cases, 39 deaths in last 24 hours. That's all for now. Thank you for watching ELITETV English News. Stay safe and have a great day.